Hello. We have 3 stories today from AITA and Am I the Jerk that make up for the fact that entitled people has slowed the last few months. All 3 are not only wedding themed, but they're all sisters who have gone over to the dark side of the veil and come out the other side as bridezillas. Our first story is all about a feud over a family property. A wedding venue, in fact, that's just perfect for one lucky bride. That is, if you ignore it no longer belongs to your family part. Story 1. I am 25. My sister is 29. I also have a younger sister, 8. When I was 14, my mom sent me to live with her parents. Her excuse was that they needed me to help out. I believe she just didn't want to deal with a growing male teen. My grandparents owned an amazing property in the mountains that has an amazing view. We also have some horses and other critters. They were also quite wealthy as well. They both passed 4 years ago, a month apart. They gave me the property because I would appreciate and respect it more, while my mom and sisters got money and other assets, overall valued more than the property. In the past 4 years, I turned part of the property into a venue for mainly weddings. Grandparents knew of this idea and thought it was a good one. We are busy and usually booked about 8 months out. My sister got engaged 1.5 years ago and said she wanted to get married at the property. I said yes, just let me know the date as soon as possible so I can make sure it is booked. I never got a date. I followed up several times and kept asking her, and she would brush me off. 2 weeks ago, I got the wedding invitation, stating the property is the location and the date, which is in September of this year. I immediately called her to say that we have booked for that date and can't accommodate her. Well, now her, my mom, other family, her partner's family, as well as other flying monkeys have been blowing up on me. They're also calling and writing reviews for my business. I asked them to stop and called my sister. I told her that literally all she had to do was tell me when she knew her date so I could block it, and I would take care of everything else. She went off on how I am ruining her day. It is our family's property. How she already sent out the invitations and couldn't go back now. I should just tell the other couple to cancel. They have been on the books for over a year now, and I actually like them. Family is more important. After the last big blow-up, I started communicating strictly through the business, using our recorded line as well as email. I suggested 3 other dates around the same time, but that's not good enough. I'm being resentful and a jerk. Edit to add, thank you all for the overwhelming response. I thought I was going crazy. Edit to add number 2. I have been taking notes about what people are saying and will go through the process as I have time. Most likely Monday. I plan on getting in contact with the couple and see if I can take them to dinner or something to explain the situation. I'm thinking of giving them a discount, getting a guest list, and being tight on security on our part. Edit to add 3. The coming weeks is going to be busy, but I am going to reach out to the other couple, have a sit down with my sister as well as my mom. I have a meeting with a lawyer later this week. And finally, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to name my business for reasons. Thanks for the offers of writing good reviews, but I can't accept it. I like to earn everything I have or am given. I have made a lot of contacts in this business and am now having to call on them to help me out. Reddit voted, not the jerk. In the comments, Small Salty Bread said, not the jerk, but your sister is a giant jerk for expecting you to cancel another couple's date for what? Selfish family? She needed to tell you the date and didn't. That's on her. Disregardable said, your mom had to be the one filling her head with, it's fine, it's our property, we can use it whenever we want. Not Funny replied, ding 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 ding, we have a winner. Discount Silent said, not the jerk, obviously, but, quote, I like to earn everything I have or am given. You were literally given a wedding-sized venue with horses from your rich grandparents. Come on, man, don't be so delusional. OP replied, not considering the work I did for 8 years on the property, taking care of both of them, and turning said property into a successful business. Given is, in my opinion, a bad way to describe it. Update 1. It has been busy. Sorry it took so long. Also, what's with the aggressive writing in all caps in the comments? First, I would like to say that I did leave out a bunch of background information and history between my family and I. People had concerns about the comment I made about my little sister and putting her in the middle of things. I didn't end up asking her, but she still helped me out. In regards to the other couple that booked the day, I will not and did not cancel on them. I invited them out to the property and to a nice dinner. We had a good time and I explained what was happening. I said I would not cancel on them. I offered added security, requested a guest list, and a main point of contact for guest questions, and a discount for just in case things happen. They understood and accepted the new terms and offer. I do have a lawyer. I had her send cease and desist letters to my sister, mother, the friends, and other family members who were making false reviews. That went over well. She also said not to share my details to get better reviews. On to my sister and mom. I told them both that it is my property. There is no our, and it is not the family property. It is mine. I told them under no circumstances were they allowed to show up on the date of question. I had offered several different solutions, all of which were rejected. All I asked in the beginning was for an immediate response to when they figured out a date they wanted to get married. If it was any other venue, and they did this, it would not work. Just because I am running, it doesn't give them special treatment or priority. They argued. I shut them down. If they want to have her wedding here, call for a date. Now, my younger sister was able to find the invitation list and sent it to me. I guess my older sister left her computer open. All of the people that RSVP'd, I sent an email and text saying the venue is not where the wedding will be set, as it was never reserved under bride and groom's name. The groom reached out to me and asked if I was serious about her not reserving the date. Apparently, she told his side she had it covered and to not worry about it. He also apologized and mentioned they knew the date for over a year now. He said he has a lot to think about. Now, since that talk, everything is quiet, and I'm scared. Usually when my sister is quiet, one of two things happens. It is about to get painful. Eruption is imminent. That's all for now. I'll keep you all updated. I'm not sure where I'll update, but this is not over. Also, sorry for the people asking for my venue details. I don't want to share it here due to me trying to keep my anonymity. Also, I'm in North America. OP is definitely not the jerk, and the groom saying he has a lot to think about is super ominous. This does not bode well for this bridezilla. Seems to me she left a teensy-weensy little itty-bitty important detail out when she was complaining to her maybe not soon-to-be husband. Whoops-a-doodle! This is definitely the calm before the storm, and this bridezilla is the eye of an oncoming hurricane. Seek shelter, OP. Seek shelter. Our second story features another bridezilla sister who brings to mind the saying, well, she asked for it. The bride in our next story taps her wedding planner family member to help her out, but just can't help herself when one moment isn't all about celebrating. Well, her. So she pushes and pushes until she loses her whole wedding. Story 2. As a wedding planner who has been in the industry for many years now, I have developed a party trick. I can guess how long my clients' marriages will last with pretty alarming accuracy amongst just close friends and family. If you ask anyone in the industry, there are specific indicators while working with a couple that allow us to be able to gauge compatibility. I can usually get down to around a 6-month window in predicting when photos of each other will disappear from socials. This is not me taking joy in crashing and burning of relationships. Working in this career field can actually leave you feeling jaded about relationships in general, which is why I'm reluctant to work for friends and family. The specific stress wedding planning puts on some people and couples can bring out the worst in them that you don't see in everyday life. My sister is getting married early next year and practically begged me to plan for her despite my stance on clients I know personally. I finally gave in and we began the process back in March. Last week, while we were meeting and finalizing a few things, she asked me about the party trick I mentioned. Oh no. She said since I had been working with her and her fiancé for months now, I could give my prediction as to how long they were going to last. I laughed and tried to move on. I thought she was joking, but she continued to press the issue. After her continually bothering me about this for at least 15 minutes when I'm trying to move on, I finally told her I thought they would last forever. I was trying to move on to work outside of her specific appointment that I needed to get to. She claimed she didn't believe me and wanted my real number, so I shrugged and told her the truth. A year and a half. She was livid. I felt incredibly uncomfortable with the whole ordeal, specifically with how little she respected my boundaries in what is supposed to be a professional setting, and just tried to usher her out of my office. Instead, she began ranting about my own marriage and said she gives us until the end of the year before we break up and accused me of being a homewrecker. She finally left, and I emailed her saying I would no longer be involved in planning. I gave her the contact information for all of the vendors we were working with. However, the venue would no longer be available as they only book to people they have existing relationships with, and my involvement was necessary. I have had to break up with clients before, but this felt particularly rough. She has now told our parents that I am purposefully sabotaging her wedding, and that I was unforgivably rude to her when she just asked a playful question. Playful? Really? Maybe if you're playing with fire. I feel very silly for letting a person disrespect my boundaries over and over again, something I typically wouldn't tolerate. But now I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong. Am I the jerk? Reddit voted not the jerk. In the comments, Zen Walker said, "Update in a year and a half whether your number was accurate." Dramatic Beans replied, "Only if OP's sister can actually get married, huh?" My Poor Nerves added, "Sounds like she can get married, just not where she wanted to." Curvy Guy said, "Not the jerk. She pushed, you gave a perfectly acceptable answer of forever, to which she didn't like that and wanted a real answer. But what would she have been happy with? 20 years? 10 years? It sounded like she is a constant boundary pusher. You didn't want to plan the wedding, but she pushed it. You didn't want to answer the question, but she pushed it. This is on her. That said, don't expect your family to see it that way. They probably will take her side because people enable crappy behavior from brides. Good luck." Kissinger Corpse replied, "There's no real answer." Snoo Goats added, 6 years and then one of you dies in a freak meat axe incident." Apple 6 corrects, an accident. This reminds me of the age-old question, do I look fat in this? Which, by the way, is a total trap. Nobody wants to hear the truth. They want to hear something that will make them feel good. Same applies here. The sister should have just accepted the generic response and called it a day. OP is not the jerk, but her sister certainly is. Our third story gets a bit petty. The right kind of petty. The revenge kind of petty, when one bridezilla goes too far trying to show her brother's girlfriend just how unwelcome she was. This brother saw right through the excuses and got back at her with a vengeance only a sibling could do. Story 3. My girlfriend Naomi and I have been together for over a decade. My younger sister Sarah and my girlfriend have never been super close, but are friendly when we get together. Or, I guess they were. When Sarah was in high school, Naomi helped her out with some personal things. Sarah got married a few days ago. When Sarah announced her engagement to the family, she asked Naomi to be a bridesmaid, which surprised us a little. Naomi was very excited because she's never gotten to do it before and probably won't have the chance. I want to be clear, there was no suggestion from either of us Sarah should ask her. It was about 2 seconds after she told us she was engaged. She said that she was so grateful to Naomi for the help when she was younger, and Naomi was very touched. A few weeks later, Sarah posts her bridesmaid proposals brunch. Naomi wasn't there. Sarah never said it to either of our faces directly, but clearly she changed her mind. Naomi was hurt, but said she understood because she hadn't expected the ask anyway. That would have been fine. But then a few months later, Sarah asks Naomi to go to the bachelorette party and also come get ready the day of with her friends and bridesmaids. Same thing, Naomi says yes and even helped her find a good place to go and a rental. A month and a half before the wedding, I'm talking to my mom on the phone and she mentions that Sarah's at her bachelorette. No mention of it to Naomi. Now I'm kind of angry because Naomi was clearly very hurt at 2 invites and then being sort of ghosted. A week before the wedding, Naomi texted Sarah and asked about getting ready and hair and makeup. Sarah responds acting confused and basically tells her nicely to just come with me. Then I was really mad. Sarah wanted this really expensive baking mixer thing for a long time, and I got it for her wedding gift. My mom had ruined the surprise, so she expected it. But after everything with Naomi, I felt like being petty, and I cut her a check instead and returned the mixer. A few days after the wedding, Sarah texts me saying, "I don't know how to ask this, but what happened to the mixer?" And I responded, I didn't know how to ask, but what happened to treating my girlfriend like a freaking human being? Now my brother and my new brother-in-law and my mom are all texting me saying, WTF, and that I'm ruining her happy time. Naomi, for her part, says I probably shouldn't have done that, but she feels a little vindicated. Am I the jerk? Update 1. So I talked to Sarah and things just got more confusing. She said when she asked Naomi to be a bridesmaid, she meant an honorary bridesmaid. She then said for the bachelorette party, Naomi had told her she works most weekends, so she didn't think that Naomi was able to attend and was just helping her to plan. Naomi said that she told Sarah to give her date so she could take off. Naomi is a very non-confrontational person and had asked me to not bring up the bridesmaid or bachelorette things at the time. She didn't want to feel like she was pushing in, which is why I didn't. The makeup thing, my sister said that Naomi had told her she would do her own hair, so she didn't see a reason for her to come get ready with them. My sister is still miffed at me and says I ruined her honeymoon period. She's not on a trip, and some other really mean stuff, so I just hung up on her. She also said that not giving the mixer was rude to her and her husband, which is hilarious, because my brother-in-law probably couldn't figure out how to turn on the oven without neon flashing signs. Reddit voted not the jerk. M. Isaac asked, not the jerk, wow. Your sister is spacey or just a jerk? I'm glad you said what you did. OP replied, I seriously don't know. I've never known her to be mean before. My mom just keeps saying she doesn't want to bother her about it now, and I ruined her honeymoon phase already. Ducking Ridiculous suggested, not the jerk. I wouldn't have even given her a check. I would have bought her a whisk or spatula and told her, oh, Mom must have been confused, just like you were when Naomi asked you about getting ready. But I am petty like that. Fredka said, does memory loss run in your family? I think your sister was a jerk here. Either don't invite or stay with whom you invited. Rescinding invites like that without a cause? It's jerkhole behavior, not the jerk. OK Huckleberry replied, I would be genuinely worried about memory loss, but she remembered the gift she didn't get just fine. Yes, no mixer for you, Bridezilla. This is actually so mean. It reads like Mean Girls. I love that OP made a stand for Naomi. Someone had to. Treating people like this is so uncalled for, and to have the nerve to even bring it up. Where's my mixer? OP's sister snubbed Naomi 3 times and in the worst possible way, and then tried to gaslight them. The only neon sign here is the big bright one that says something I can't say on YouTube, and it's right there, right over OP's sister's head. OP is not the jerk, and he gets a gold star for being a knight in shining armor. And that's it for today. Until next time, shine bright, Starlight. Yahoo! If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.